So, hello, everyone. I know we've done a lot of hellos even before we started, but this is a formal hello as we started with the recording. And today we have the gorgeous Shivam Saxena, who is a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness and a relationship done different, business done different facilitator also. So here today, because there were people in the group who were asking, and they wanted to know, um, would an infinite being have boundaries? As in, do we have? And the answer actually that we get when we ask the question in Access, uh, we would say no. Would an infinite being have boundaries? Obviously, how would you have boundaries? But then, should you be having uh, boundaries in relationships? And where is it even coming from? What and because Shivam conducts these, facilitates these classes all across the globe. And just I don't want to announce it later. I just want you to know that there is a class coming up in Dubai on 25th May and 13th June in India. So I want her, to throw some light on infinite being, boundaries, and relationships. Because that's a question a lot of people have, and there's probably a confusion there. Okay, like what boundaries? And with boundaries, when you kind of explain, it's about the comfortable distance also. Is that what boundary is? What are boundaries? Can you elaborate? So over to you,
Thank
Shivam.
you. Thank you, Kavita. And for such a, well, first of all, everyone who's excited about this topic, we have Kavita to thank for because she came up with this title and I was like, oh, okay, fine. And, but really like, thank you for this ask and this conversation. Okay, so how do we connect this? Yeah, infinite being, the word itself is like infinite. And then when you start having boundaries, but before all of that, I would like to as part of answering this question, I would like all of us to look at and you can post your comments and answers on the chat here. So what do boundaries mean to you? What purpose they serve to you? And when do you require boundaries? And it's not about like writing a perfect access or psychological answer. Really,
so
like
can I just, because whatever I'm tapping into, can I just kind of start with it before others kind of express? I think what are boundaries? Boundaries are your being because coming from the animal kingdom, it's being territorial and having how we do piss marks. This is my zone and this is my territory. So one is that, and they're required because you feel threatened or unprotected. Security, I think that okay, I don't want anyone to trespass. And what do they serve you as? I think they serve as you get the strength. People, please mute yourself when you join in. Thank you so much. And it's about safeguarding your people. Like it's like when you have a family, not just a romantic relationship. When you have a family, you would want them to not go through difficult situations or stuff and all, and then you kind of safeguarding them. And so then we tell people, hey, stay away. You don't need to enter this boundary. Like we have boundary walls in our houses, so we have it. It's like an extrapolation of that. We have it in relationships also. Then
and thanks for answering that. And I think it probably matches everyone's world as well. And I really wanted like people to like look at when do we feel we have to put boundaries, and like you said, like it's when we feel threatened
or insecure.
Insecure, or you feel uncomfortable and you feel your space is being violated. Or you try to basically protect yourself, protect your interest. Some people do that for properties, some people do that for relationships, and and even kids, like your own kids, you want to protect your kids, and you try to put boundaries there, but you want to protect people you love, you want to protect yourself, you basically want to protect what you care for. Like people do that in business as well. it's like stealing actually is basically, hey, that is
That's
crossing.
mine. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crossing a boundary, that's crossing a limit. And and these are like really amazing reasons and everything. But my next question, like, to everyone is, um, have boundaries always worked?
Mostly,
Mostly. So is
not
it,
always.
yeah, exactly. So is it mostly they have worked, or how much attention do you have to keep putting in everything that's showing up, trying to ensure that a boundary is not crossed?
Yeah. And so we feel trapped sometimes,
Yeah.
or
So if
we
you are
end up
putting
suffocating the other person who we're trying to protect, or I mean, assuming that we're protecting them, they don't
well,
feel protected.
the other person, or is it like just everybody? Basically, let's say, like, you put up boundaries for your kids, okay? Where it's like, someone is not. I mean, people who live in joint families have that, and it's reasonable. Where it's like your kid, you kind of don't want your kid to go through, some relative trying to, shame or judge your child or something like that. And you're like, no, please, I don't raise my children with judgment. Please
Yeah.
don't judge and make my children shrink. But look at
Yeah.
the underlying energy with that, because the minute you put a boundary to you put a boundary even to that child, where we stop them, and the underlying point is everyone requires protection.
Mhm.
What if actually it allows people to build the muscle to deal with it? So what is so it's like there are two things. Yes, boundaries serve a purpose of protection. And all of us who are here, we are here because we know what that feels like when someone dishonors us, when somebody when that boundary is crossed and you feel violated, you feel invalidated. So it's like from a very young age we are taught to protect ourselves, put a boundary, and that's our coping mechanism.
So
Now,
is that wrong to feel violated? I mean, is
yeah,
that incorrect? People do feel it. I mean, and Vandana is writing Lakshman Rekha. Did Ram not put a boundary that don't go out? There are demons outside.
exactly. Like I
And
said,
then she
like
crosses it. Yeah.
none of these reasons are wrong. None of these reasons are wrong. You have been doing a phenomenal job of taking care of what you love, taking care of you, taking care of your loved ones, taking care of your interests. Okay.
Yeah.
And what happens is, most of the times we don't know what other way is to do that. And that's where, like, the conversation of infinite being and boundaries comes up, because
Yeah.
what if there is a different way, a greater way, an easier way, to actually create what you desire to create without setting up a wall around you. And
Yeah.
the purpose of this call is not because, like, hey, this is the conscious way to do it, this is the right way to do it. What you have been doing so far is wrong, wrong, wrong.
Mhm.
Everything that brings up, done to Godzillion, can we please destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pop, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. The thing is, and we are just trying to, like, sow seeds of different possibilities, and maybe walk with you a few steps on what we can choose, what this will create, and what different possibility will create. So
Mhm.
because it's like when you put a boundary, you put a wall, right? You limit you too. And then every interaction that you have where this boundary is, you end up spending most of your time in evaluating and judging whether the person is within the boundary or are they crossing a boundary. Now, do you get the sense of energy and attention that this requires? And how much of that, if you could do this, if you could achieve what you require to achieve and then use all of this energy to create your life, would you be interested in that?
Yeah. But Sumita has a question. Is this a boundary where I don't like anyone stepping in my domain?
Yeah. So it's like, would an infinite being have a domain? So how small are you keeping yourself to keep a domain? How, because the minute you set a boundary, it's not the other person you're stopping, you're also stopping you. It's a wall. It's a boundary wall, like we
So
have.
what does one do? I mean, if you have your prized possessions, okay, like for example, somebody comes and takes away your jewelry or so takes your valuables, how would you kind of
Yeah.
say that no? I mean, you end up putting it in a locker or a bank or someplace or
Yeah.
somebody. You will protect it no matter what, whether however it may look like. So what is that? Is
But
there
look
a
at the
difference
energy
that we're
and look at
talking about?
yeah, and look at the whole context of protection.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Protection comes from this whole, and and we do set up, like how many times we set up a boundary so we can then be on autopilot and never be present. What if you could, and take your jewelry items, take your valuables that you want to put in locker, that you want to put in lock, this thing. What if you could engage even just with the jewelry items and ask them to take care of themselves? Let you know when attention is required. Let them ping you where they require to be moved to somewhere else. How much easier does life get?
But that requires to be a lot more present.
Yeah, so that requires to be a lot more present. Or is that actually is that a lie that we tell ourselves to, because we don't want to choose it, but and then rather put our life in this whole constant struggle of putting boundaries, protecting things, which is easier, being present, being in question, and be having ease and creating your life, which creates greater, or putting or constantly living in this whole world of where you have to protect this, you have to protect that, you have to protect this, you have to protect your relationship, you have to protect your child, you have to protect your valuables, then you have to also protect your honor, you have to also protect your body, and you have to protect, you have to protect, you have to protect, you have to protect, you have to protect.
Yeah, that's a lot of effort.
Yeah. And the whole underlying point of view is, what if
I'm going to lose it? I don't want to lose it, and then you end up losing it anyway.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to ask you guys, have putting boundaries worked? Or how much, when you put a boundary, yeah, it works for a little while, but then you are pretty much challenging the other person to keep crossing it or find ways to find another way to cross it. And then next thing you know, you're just literally caught in the battle of, it's like a Kargil war, right? LOC, line of control. So how many troops do we actually have on borders and line of control? And we keep talking about it. We keep talking about it. And it's the whole thing of, Lakshman Rekha. But and I love Ramayana, by the way. Like, it's one of my favorite. And there's so much to learn from all of that. And then also, like, the places where we choose a limitation, we have the ability to choose limitation. We have the ability to maintain limitation. We also have the ability to ask for, choose more ease, and also put all of this energy in creation of our life.
So Marina is just writing, if we always do, that feels like presuming that there is danger.
Yeah, it's a presumptive reality.
It is a presumptive reality.
It's a presumptive reality, and your reactive reality is always making sure the boundary is not crossed. Always making sure the boundary is not crossed. Because you have to protect, how much you need to protect is actually your reactive reality. And this, and I know I'm not sure, like, what kind of like, if the participants have done foundation in the last 12 months, but if these are like new terms for you, this is something that gets covered in foundation manual. But but it's really our assumption, right? It's really our underlying point of view that you are not aware. What if you are more aware than that? What if we have the ability to be more present? What if actually being present is a lot more easier than we think it will be? So, yeah. And for me, the most inviting thing is, like, the minute I put a boundary, I know I've limited myself. And I don't like to be limited. I like to be a free spirit. I'm not somebody who likes to be contained. And then why would I put a boundary to control me?
Oh, yeah. Vandana has a question. Yeah.
Yes, go for it, Vandana.
So, I, in the past couple of years, have realized that I have not had strong enough boundaries, what they call boundaries, because I've never had the concept of boundaries ever. And due to that, I've been taken advantage of multiple times. I have been cheated multiple times. I've been taken for granted. I have been, like a doormat, and I've not chosen me because there are no boundaries. So at some level now, in fact, despite doing access consciousness, somehow in the past 2, 3 months, I have realized I need to start setting up boundaries with certain people, like my ex-husband and all that. So it's a very complex situation where you are an infinite being, you are without judgment, but yet you know that certain people are just coming into your space a bit too much and have too many expectations. So what do you have to say about that?
Could you ask me a question?
So what do I do if I'm being taken advantage of, if I don't have boundaries?
Can anyone take advantage of you? Truth.
I have been taken advantage of.
Yeah.
I've been
And
treated
how much,
financially.
yeah. And how much of that has to do with well, why don't you try answering the question I asked? Can anyone take advantage of you? If I try to take advantage of you right now, Vandana, would you let me?
No.
So you know that not everyone can take advantage of you. So the people who have, and thank you for that vulnerability, and people who have taken advantage of you, what if you looked at where did you allow them to take advantage of you? Instead of, I didn't have a boundary. Do you have a boundary with me right now?
No.
No. But will you let me take advantage of you?
No.
No.
True.
So, where are you buying the lie that people have taken advantage of you because you didn't have boundaries? And how many people are basically going around and telling you that, oh, you're a woman, you should have boundaries, otherwise people will take. I know. I've lived. Well, I've never been married. I've lived in a third world country, and let's say third world family that just crosses like limits to like no end, including today. And so it's like, and there's something that gets projected on me all the time. People will take advantage of you if you don't. You're too kind, you're too nice. Who told you to be good friends with that person? Who told you to do this? So it's like, yeah, so how many people are going out and projecting that when it's not even yours?
And then you being the effect of it?
And then you will always be effect of what you buy as true.
Right.
So what lies are you buying that don't allow you to have a reality that is far more creative, far more aware, and far more honoring of you? Because when you put a boundary and you limit you, are you honoring you?
No, because I can be greater than I am.
Yeah. And if you can be greater than you are, so you would, and what if like you could do that, from being in question and also trusting you, because that's another
And
reason. Sometimes
so no, another question that is popping up is, yeah.
Sometimes we do put boundaries because we don't trust us. Because ultimately, what does it tell you? If somebody's taking advantage of you, and I think if somebody's taking advantage of you, who's making wrong the most?
Myself.
Yourself.
You, because you were the one who was screwed up to allow this to happen. You were the one who was screwed up to not have a boundary. You were the one who was choosing to be unaware. But do you get like how many reasons then we are putting together to make us wrong?
Yeah.
And what does that do to you trusting you?
Right. It's you start trusting yourself.
Yeah. So all the coping mechanism that we all have been taught to use, because the lie was that we needed protection.
So no, with protection, can we protect someone?
So it allows all the distractor implants to just kick in like that.
So it's like, and instead of that, what if actually the truer reality was, what would you like to have in your relationship today? Most of the times people are doing relationships, people are doing friendships, people are performing whatever they are doing in their day-to-day life to do with people, it's always from reaction. Putting up a boundary is from reaction. Did you know of putting up a concept of putting up a boundary when you were 6 months old? So you did learn it at some point from somebody. So it's like, what if actually the opposite was actually true for you, but nobody around you was exploring that. So you decided that that's probably not even possible. Everything that brings up, everything that is times the godzillion, will you please let that go now? Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, proverbs, and peons. And with boundaries, like I find boundaries very negative. Yeah. So, it's like, and it's not about like boundaries are wrong. It's not about that. Please acknowledge that you have been doing phenomenal. And it's not even about like, oh, let go of your boundaries and like, yeah, take a step, take a step, play with it. Try with one place where you don't need to, where you are putting boundary, and then make a demand of yourself to be present. What chaos can you be that no one can even figure out to take advantage of you?
So boundary is based on a judgment?
Isn't it? It's a reaction that's based on presumptive reality that you require protection, and how much of that is on a judgment that you will not be able to protect yourself and you will not be able to handle the situation when shit happens. So the judgment is whose on whom? Yours on yourself.
And then comfortable distance. It's about creating that. It's about having a distance, and that works.
Is a little bit different. It is related, but it's a little bit different. And yeah, maybe another call with that.
Okay.
But I would love to go there, but it's like because I know, like, look, I mean, we are touching a very sensitive topic.
Yeah.
Because we are like, the whole shit tons of stuff happens in life where you feel like you need to protect the kindness in you, you need to protect the beauty in you, you need to protect, you need to honor the...
So if you're brought up in a family which is very conservative, so orthodox, conservative, traditional, so-called, I mean, and then you're not supposed to do this, you're supposed to hide yourself, you're not supposed to be seen by men, and you're not supposed to, and stuff like that, right? So you're constantly creating boundaries with people around because you're not there, because you don't want to be seen. And so how does one even cope with that? Is that even possible for such people to come out of it?
What if it's not about coping? It's about choice.
Okay.
And if I may, one of the reasons I'm talking about this is because this is something that I personally have gone through.
Really?
And yeah, so and it's like, Kavita, you know me, and then if you're saying really, so maybe I would like to, just talk a little bit about, maybe it'll help. I was raised in a very Hindu spiritual family, conservative, like, okay, maybe not, maybe, but it was all around, and also in a lot of anger and violence. So to the point and I was the youngest, and to the point when I was 8 years old, and my elder brother asked me, or like, they asked me, what would you like for your birthday? I was like, can I have one day where I'm not beaten up? I was 8 years old.
Wow.
And, and that was my birthday request. I would like to have one day where I am not beaten up. And to the point, like, and violence, and, and I'm not, and I don't know how I'm in this family, but it's like, for me, violence is not something that I'm like, like, I would not like, I don't think I have the size to fight or hit back. If somebody punches me, I find a way to wiggle out. But I remember I was in the first year of my college, and having grown up and I was 11 years old, where I was like, I'm going to go to a boarding school because the abuse in my living environment was a lot for me, and I need to end this. But then it was not about the boundary. I did not know as a kid about boundary, but I made a demand. And that's what, like, I wanted to like talk about was with boundaries and demand. It's like I remember I was going I was going for the first day of my engineering college, and the next day I was, it was the last day with my family, and there was some family drama that was going on, and I had the balls to present my point of view. And at that time, my brother slapped me. And I was like, wow, I'm going to college next day and I'll be gone for 6 months. And, so I went out for a walk. And I remember, and I had my conversation with the universe. And everything that brings up tens of godzillion, can we destroy and uncreate it all, right and wrong, good and bad, all and pop, all nine shorts, verse, poets, and beyond. And I made a demand to the universe of, you know what, I'm not having this as a reality. So I mean, again, I did not know. I mean, how do you even go about having boundaries with your siblings? But at the same time, I had this demand of, you know what, I'm not choosing this as a reality. Show me a way where this is not there. And that's something I would really like to invite you all to is, look at where you have boundaries. Maybe tonight, as you relax after dinner, look at where you think you really require boundaries, and see if did the boundaries work, or you making the demand that no more of this. How much of that demand actually is your power to create a different reality? And look at like, what kind of relationship reality would you like to have? What kind of, because nobody tells us that.
Yeah.
At least I wasn't told that. What kind of,
no, we weren't told.
What kind of reality would I like to have with people? And, there was an energy poll that I did. Maybe if that will help, it's on YouTube. If Umesh can put that, but it's like, or maybe just write a list. Just write a list, whatever that is for you. Okay. It's not about perfect access language. It's not about, nothing. Like, keep all of that. Like, it's between you and the universe. And, it's like, write that list. What would you like? And what would you not like? And make a demand to have that as a reality, and request of the universe to contribute.
So would that mean, with what you're saying, those toxic people or people who are just not kind, they will fall off your world?
Yes, and it's like, like, it's not about, and most people, and that's the thing, that's where we try to go into, conclusion of what will this choice create. What are the infinite ways that, something can show up in your world without the fear of people going or people leaving? People, can you trust yourself? If you don't want somebody to leave, they will not leave you.
Wow.
So where have we decided that if I change too much, or if I ask for sort of totally different reality, then the people I want in my life will leave me?
And those we want will leave? Is that possible too?
Yeah. And exactly, like, how much of that is actually those who you would like to, like, either tone down or mellow down, or like walk away, or like whatever, but you can. But then that's the power of functioning from space of you being an infinite being. And that's the power we would reject. For what reason? Because we need protection. But do you see like how odd that sounds?
Yeah.
So it's like you have the power to create your reality. You have the power to ask for what you would like as your reality. You have the power and potency to choose who you would like to have in your life, and not choose who you would like to have. And what if you let your beauty get louder?
So instead of contracting, you expand and turn up.
Because we try to protect our beauty, right?
Yeah.
We try to protect this whole beautiful thing that's us, or the beauty of us, where we are not violated. But like, what if you let that? What if it's the opposite? That's actually far truer and much easier. So lower walls and barriers, and allow your beauty, allow your consciousness, allow the chaos that you are to get louder.
Yes. So we have a question with Dr. Seema, and then Sonal can ask.
Yes.
Dr. Seema? Yeah.
Did that help?
Yeah, it did.
Okay,
it opened up a different world, that, okay, when you see a lot of big houses having big boundaries, then you want to see what's there. So the attention is even more, and they are only busy in protecting more and more and more. And the only thing is they're getting more attention there, while you don't want people to see, but then you're actually inviting more people to see.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
And that's another thing. The minute you put a boundary, the other person, what they want to do is challenge that boundary.
Challenge that boundary.
So yeah. Okay, yes.
Hi Shivam, hi Kavita.
Hi.
So good to see you both. Yeah, so
Hi.
there is a woman at my workplace. She is the business head, okay, and her behavior most of the times is like very dishonoring of me, and I really don't know how to be with her, and what tools can I use actually to change this? Like no more dishonoring of me. I just now you said make a demand, so I am making this demand, no more dishonoring of me. I will not allow others to dishonor me. Yeah, but then what other tools can I use to stop her from dishonoring me?
Seema, it's a great question because I get people a lot of, and even and I'm so glad that you're bringing up the business environment and the work environment, because people do ask that in business done different class and relationship done different class.
Yeah.
When I used to do being classes, even then, like, I don't want people to dishonor me. No more dishonoring of me. Can I present a different point of view?
Yes. This was the next part. How can I look at it differently?
Thank you so much. I used to have the same point of view. I don't want people to dishonor me. No more dishonoring of me. But now, when we say no more dishonoring of me, how many walls and barriers have we ourselves put? Like, look at the world around you. Is the world choosing consciousness? No. Are they choosing judgment? Yes. So when you go for no more dishonoring of you, how much do you have to isolate yourself from everything, including your clients, including everyone? Because you know what, you're saying no more dishonoring of you. And by the way, like those of you who don't know, Dr. Seema is an IVF specialist. So she's this miracle worker who brings joy in different ways, and she's this whole total magician with women's bodies. And it's like, look at like how many clients actually come from from being dishonored or choosing to dishonor or buying lies or judgment, patients who come. And then when you say like no more dishonoring of me, but you are an infinite being, everybody is included in your world. Okay, even this reality, even everything that's on the planet, everything is included in your world. And what if you actually, and then on one hand we are saying what will it take for everything to be a contribution, but then we say no more dishonoring. So a different point of view is, look at where are you choosing to what can you, when there is an energy of somebody dishonoring you, somebody insulting you, it could be family members, it could be business people, it could be and it could be somebody, it could be a client, or it could be anybody, it could be a neighbor who could who would have a judgment, and judgment kind of is an energy of dishonoring to begin with. Look at where you go when somebody chooses to dishonor you, because people can choose to dishonor you. Where it has an effect on you, you want to look at, because there's a lie that's far more dishonoring of me that I'm telling myself, where their action starts to have an effect on me.
So it's like I go into that I don't have a control over the situation. She is the one who is leading the way.
Yeah. So what if you can be out of control, and you can let her be out of control, and how much chaos can you instill? How much chaos can you instill with people you're working with and they're choosing judgment?
And can anyone truly insult you? I mean, my question would be that, unless we take it personally?
Can anyone truly insult you, dishonor you, or do anything if you don't take it, if you don't have a point of view about it?
Because we judge others for who we are. I mean, that's one thing I keep reminding myself. Oh, they judge themselves. It's not about me.
Yeah. And look at like where that becomes true for you.
Yeah. I didn't get this part.
Yeah, I know. So can you give me an example? Maybe if you're comfortable, can you give me an example where you feel she dishonored you?
Okay, like in organizations, we also have hierarchy. So she is from administrative background, and I am a doctor, I am a senior consultant. So the way it goes is, I mean, I may sound ridiculous. They are supposed to honor the consultants, the doctors, right? And then let's say we are two doctors. One is at the Delhi unit and one I am at the Faridabad unit. When we are sitting together, she will come and she will ask for her opinion, and she will agree to her point of view, whatever she's saying, and she will show that, yes, ma'am, you are right. And then she will just disregard my suggestions or my points of view. So this is just one example.
Yeah. So that where she disregards your suggestion, your point of view. And that's true. That is dishonoring you. Okay. Now, what if you looked at what does that mean for you? Not about, and my suggestions don't go into like, oh, would an infinite being truly be dishonored? Like that's when you're just trying to wrap it up. Really look deeper. What does it mean for you? What does it mean for you when somebody disregards, when she's disregarding? Because that will give you so much awareness of the points of views you have around this particular situation. And those, and the realization is, wow, those points of views are actually what's creating the reality. It literally has nothing to do with what she's choosing. You're still the creator of your reality. It's just your point of view of what this means to you is what is going to dominate the whole scenario. So what if you could have, and so allow yourself to look at, what does this mean to me?
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of us, like, have had that, like, before coming to Access, like, at least for me, it was like anybody called me a bitch or a slut, I was like, mad, like, reaction in my world. I mean, I would go fight, but I would be like, and but then it's like I had to look at, what does that mean for me? What does it mean for me? Because end of the day, it could literally be just a cat doing meow. But if it doesn't mean anything for you, you will just let her do meow. You can still be the dominant one in your workplace. So where are you using your points of views against you? What have you got present with what those points of views are?
Something comes to my awareness. It's like I do have a judgment of her that she is mean and she thinks that she's superior. And also, somewhere I'm aware of the judgments that are projected on me from the business team, or what, from the seniors who are in the organization,
Yeah.
that she is not good enough and she is not bringing too many clients. And somehow I have made that as my own. So that disrespect, I think that it's coming from there. So that's running underneath.
Yeah. And how many have you acknowledged? How many realities, how many people's in worlds are you aware of? And so if you didn't have a judgment, how much you could acknowledge everything that you're aware of. Okay, she's mean, and maybe she's trying to do, people who try to do superior only because they see you as superior and they want to feel that good about themselves, but they can never feel that good about themselves, because to feel good about yourself, you have to be you. And to be you, they can't be you, they have to be themselves. So are you willing to let this chaos dominate their world? Like, they look up to you, but you are being you. Nobody can be you except you. And they can try to put you down because that will make them, because they want to have what you have. Apparently taking that away from you is where they think they will get what you have. But that's their reality. Are you willing to let their reality collapse around them by not having any point of view?
It's like, how much fun can I have with this? Let them have the point
Absolutely.
of view about me, and how much fun can I have with this?
Yeah. And what gentleness can you be? What receiving can you have? How much fun can you have? And how much, it's not about how much fun you can have with this, but where are you letting this get in the way of fun of your living and the job and work that you love? Where are you letting this take away your fun?
Yeah.
Because you, from what I know of you, is you are a joyful, happy-go-lucky, fun lady, and you love to have fun. So where are you letting, you already having fun, where are you letting this take away your fun? Just
go. Yeah.
meow. You can let people meow, whatever.
Or do babo.
Yeah. Oh, how?
So we had Sonal asking. Sonal, thank you,
Yeah,
Seema,
yeah,
for your
I'm there,
question.
I'm there.
Sonal, and
Yeah,
then
hi.
then we'll take Gaurav's question, and then once Sonal is
Hi,
done.
Shivam. Hi, Kavita.
Hey, Sonal, you're
Asking this
good.
question that before
Yeah.
me. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So the thing is that, Shivam, that before coming to Access, I had a lot of
You
why
keep your video off because no, we can't hear you. You keep your video off, and then maybe the network will be fine.
Hello.
Yeah, better. Keep your video off.
Achha, okay.
Huh.
Why
Now you are.
such abusive family I have, before coming to Access. After coming to Access, I came to know that I am the creator and I have created this. So, but after that, I am stuck there. That, I've not been able to, I'm not asking, I don't go into asking questions or make a demand. So this is what I wanted to ask.
Yeah, and thank you. And yeah, it takes a lot of courage, and vulnerability and honesty with ourselves, and it's really like a lot of honoring of us when we realize like what is showing up is our creative, what we have created. Please acknowledge that, and that's amazing. So it's not like you're not doing the work. I mean, how much work have you already done in receiving that about you? Okay. And the second thing is like, how I was telling earlier, like what can you create now? What would you like to create now? Make that list. And what if it's as easy as you just recognizing and acknowledging what would I like to have? It's kind of like, maybe 10 years ago you ordered dal chawal and then you kept eating dal chawal, and today you're realizing, well, I'm eating dal chawal because that's what I ordered. Okay, now how do I make a demand for different? No, you just realize that, oh, okay, is dal chawal working? No, but not so much. Maybe I would like biryani now. And you just go, okay, I would like biryani now. And that's all. Like, what if it's that easy to create a different reality now?
Wow. Yeah. Or you may continue if you like dal chawal. I mean,
yeah,
that's a
like
choice.
that. Yeah, it's my comfort food. Yeah. So it's like, but like, yeah, take a look at what is working for you. So it's like, what if you don't have to reject everything that's there? Thank you for pointing that out, Kavita. Like, what if you don't have to reject everything that you've created so far? Because it is something amazing. You are an amazing creator. What is the beauty that is there? Have that. And what else can you add to have a different reality now?
So thank you for saying that. Yesterday only I said, okay, I chose abuse. Okay, I wanted to experience that. That's the sense I received from like when I was, and then, okay, now, but I would like to change this oaths and vows.
Yeah, that.
Yes, thank you. And really grateful for you to look at that. Really, like, I mean, it will sound like, oh, she's just trying to be nice. But can I please say about abuse? One person having no point of view and going into a different choice changes the reality and future for the entire planet, for rest all the kids that are going to be born, for all the kids that are out there, for all the women, all the men. We don't acknowledge like our one easy choice that we are like, oh, I just chose that, and how amazing, how magnificent you are that you chose it, and what a gift that is. And please receive what you have changed in the world as a result of that choice.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gaurav, you're next. Gaurav.
Yeah, hello. Hi,
Hi.
everybody. So, my question is actually, it is related to abuse and family. Like, I'm not facing any physical abuse as of now, but there's gaslighting, manipulation, emotional abuse that keeps on going on. Like, literally, this is something that I'm experiencing, sort of sucks energy from my body, which is why I'm almost all the time I'm just lying down, don't have any energy to do my normal things and all like that. So my question here is like I have explored over I was in question, how does it get any better than this? So I found out the energy match, that it is something as narcissistic abuse, or that is happening to me. So my question here is like we don't have that, I mean, in action. So basically the primary question that I'm having here is, should I mean leave such type of relationship, as even if that is my family, or I mean I can still cope up with that with using the tools of access. I mean, so I'm a little confused here, and I'm looking some clarity in this area.
Um, okay. And thank you for that vulnerability. Choosing to use access tools already starts changing your reality. Okay. And then with the family that's there, um, I know there are like very many conversations that we can go into with that, but I would like to leave you with this one tool. Is what is it that you would like to choose? Have you asked yourself, what would you like to choose? Which of these family members would like to have? Which of these family members you are like, well, maybe I need a break? And what if it's not about like finding a right choice of what you should choose, but what if you allowed yourself to choose that for half a day at a time, and choose it it's not, nobody's asking you to do anything or take any action. Choose it. Choose it like, okay, like, you know what, I would like to find, because it allows you to, what happens with family is, um you know, we have been born in a family. So from day one of our cognitive space, we have been in their presence, or they have been in our presence, but we literally forget what it even feels like to have a space or a life without them. So when you choose for half a day, for 2 hours, that, okay, you know what, I would like to find the energy. What is that energy in my world like? If they are not part of it, it allows that energy of that's beyond family to show up in your world. Because right now you don't even know what, let's say you've been eating salt all your life, you don't even know what sugar tastes like. So, and then you're asking a question, should I take sugar, should I leave sugar, or should I leave salt, should I leave, maybe you don't have to leave salt to find what sugar is, but right now start tasting it, start tasting that energy. And you know, that's where like the 10 keys book and choosing in 10-second increments really helps. Some people get really lost in 10 seconds. Use it for half a day, and it's your choice. That doesn't mean you have to send out an email to them, divorce them, or you don't have to take any action. But first start playing with your choice. For half a day, I'm choosing to have a life without this particular family member. For half a day, I'm choosing to have a life without this family. What does that even look like? Allow yourself to go out.
I remember Shivam saying that to me and say, you know, do this indulgence exercise and you will know, you will get there. You know, should you continue? Should you not continue? Be in it. And then, and how does your day look like? And then drop it and say, okay, fine, I'm not in it. How does that feel like? You know, it gives you that awareness. I think that's such a beautiful tool, Shivam. Yeah, that's such a beautiful tool.
Thanks. Thank you. And, you know, allow that energy to also come in your world. Because right now you have no idea what that even energy is like. And there's no right and wrong choice with family there. And also, FYI, there is no permanent choice with family.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there is anything like, oh, they will never leave me or they will never leave you alone. I have literally used the tools of access consciousness to change my relationship. And some people, such as my parents, they absolutely, the caring and the vulnerability and beauty that showed up in my world with them and them with it, you know, with me, was so phenomenal that I had never imagined that could be possible. With some people, it's like they have chosen to create their own life. And, you know, so it's like, there is no way to define how this is going to look like. But for now, like, what if you just took that step? and I let that energy do what it has to do. Okay, so instead of beating yourself up in the head of what should I do now? Like, yes, you are getting awareness after access tools, like you do have a abusive family. Okay, like if you don't have to like figure out, just start choosing and just doing this energetic exercise.
So, I mean, I got that thing that I have to indulge in choosing it like for a day or like half a day and see what it feels like so that it helps me to choose
No,
what I have to do.
no, that's not what I was saying. This is not about deciding which choice to make. This is
Okay.
about letting a new energy come into your life and let it do its thing. You already know that you have to step away from them, but you just don't know what that looks like. You don't know what that means. You already know that you have to create a reality where the abuse and the gaslighting and all of that isn't dominant. So you have already made that choice. You just don't know what that tastes like. I'm asking you to do half an hour so you get the taste of that energy. Half an hour, half a day, so you get taste of that energy. You've already made the choice of having a reality where gaslighting and abuse is not dominant. This is not about figuring out whether you should choose it or not choose it.
So, like, I got that. I mean, getting a taste of the reality that I'm asking for.
Yes.
So, like, right now I'm having this question, like, how will that help me out? I mean, like, stepping out of this.
Try it out. It's just half a day of your life, man. What if you
Okay.
don't have to beat yourself in the head of what this will look like, what this will look like? Where have you decided only worst case scenarios are going to show up if you make a choice? If I ask for a reality where abuse doesn't dominate me, does that mean that my brother dies, or or my relatives die who are abusive? Or if I would like a reality where I'm not at the effect of gaslighting, does that mean my gaslighting friends or gaslighting business people or gaslighting blah 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 will die or leave me or I get fired? But do you get like where we go into the worst case scenario as a way to prepare ourselves for the worst case scenario, so we never have to face the worst case scenario while in the head trying to figure out how to handle the worst case scenario? Do you get like how much of, yeah, it's here, it's all going on here. Everything that brings up times a godzillion, where you are creating boundaries, where we are taught to create boundaries non-stop in order to protect ourselves from the worst case scenarios, rather than go, no, I'm not going to choose that. I'm not going to choose, like, people can die if they choose to die, but I'm not choosing to look at like whether they should die or not die, whether I should I'm not choosing to get fired from my job. So where are you not trusting yourself that you have choice to say, no, thank you, worst case scenario. What else is possible, universe? It's your awareness that, okay, that may be one scenario, but that is one scenario in infinite possibilities. Universe, show me what are the infinite possibilities that are far more joyful for me than the worst case scenarios. Yeah. Everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion. Can you please destroy and uncreate it all? Right or wrong?
Good, bad, God, POC online, short boys, for bad and beyond. So that was amazing. I think we've done a 60-minute call already. I think it was amazing, Shivam, and your facilitation. Just to put a reminder, people, Shivam is going to have a class on relationship done different on 25th May in UAE, Dubai. So if you know anybody who is struggling with relationships, you know who to contact. And also she's going to be having one in India on 13th June. So you can contact me, you can contact her directly, you can contact Umesh, anybody you know who would be, yes, online also, yes, online also, Sonal. So it's worth it, it's about, we are struggling in relationships and that's the only class that we don't go to. So we have questions around it and we're like, yeah, you don't, it's like, a lot of people don't go for parenting workshops because they think I know how to parent. And well, the kids are different and the scenario is different. It's no longer the way we used to handle stuff then. what if you could have a different way of living in this reality and create your own reality differently? So that's the relationship done different class. And in case you know anyone who would also like to kind of inquire about business done different, we recently had a conversation on business and it was amazing. And I think we're going to do it more. So thank you, Seema. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And we'll come up with something more fascinating in coming weeks. So thank you all for
Let
joining
us
in
have
today.
a picture. Smile,
Yes,
please.
okay. Yes.
Show your faces.
And thank you, everyone. We do have,
you.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And thank you so much, Kavita, for opening this door and this conversation.
But it was
May
Sonal who asked this
25th.
question.
May 25th and June 13th, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I will just post it in the groups.
Thank you. That's so kind of you, Harishji. And
Yes.
Sonal, who asked your question, she was the one who asked in the group. And I was like, wow, then let an RDD facilitator facilitate this rather than me talking about it. And Shivam, one word in Hindi, please. That's a request.
Sure. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Virenji, yeah.
Virenji. Okay, that's
And Shivam also say no, वो सारा जीवन मेरी
Oh my
और
God.
I just
Yeah, really, हम सबकी ओर सुगमता. You know? It's like सुगमता, वैभव, हर्ष के साथ आता है. Like, what if really relationships were coming to us with total
With ease, joy, and glory. Well, really, so in case you have a problem with English, Shivam can talk very good Hindi. So don't worry. This entire call has been in English. That's because we've got international people also on the call. So if you are a Hindi speaking person, please don't be afraid because you'll be taken care of in Hindi.
Yeah. And then there is Kavita who will translate my Hindi into understandable Hindi. So
understandable Hindi. We are covered. So yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
and
you,
thank you so much for
Good
choosing.
night.
Have a wonderful weekend. Good night. Yeah. Thank you
Bye.
for
Thanks,
choosing me.
Kavita.
And we have
Thank you, Shivam. Thank you, Kavita.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
clarity.
We have
Bye.
one more call, don't we? Umesh was going to say that. I was just going to say that.
Yes.
Do you want to say it, Nisha? Who's saying it? Or should I? We have one
I'll
more call.
Relationship in bodies. On
Relationship
2nd
and
May.
bodies, which is amazing. Kavita and me, and we get to talk
Yes.
together. And oh my God, like,
But how does it have an impact on your body? I mean, let's talk about relationship in bodies. 2nd May, we'll post it all. And so see you guys again with many new faces and more people on the call.
And this one will be, you get to ask Kavita also her, questions and yay.
On bodies. Yay. So we will be actually having a conversation on bodies and relationships.
Looking forward to that. I think that's like also a big one. And this call
It
also
is.
was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nisha. And we'll be there because I have a class in Dubai, body class on 10th of May, and she's there in Dubai on 25th. So that's why we kind of talking about relationships and bodies.
And Kavita will have another class in, I don't know, sometime in India also. It's like really, I love Kavita's 3-day body class.
It was fun. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
How did we get so lucky to have both of
Yeah.
you coming here in the same month? It's going to be brilliant.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Chalo.
Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Harishi. Bye.